welcome. Today we're going to be going over how you can build a Zenphi flow to enhance your company's security. This flow is going to allow you to remove access from any employees that will be departing to make sure your information is secure. So let's go ahead and get started. The first step to any Zenphi flow is to set up your trigger, which in Zenphi is the action that's going to initiate the flow. In this case, we're going to be using the Google form trigger, meaning it's going to start the flow whenever the Google form is responded. So to be able to set up your connection to your Google form, all you have to do is click on the plus icon here to create a new connection. This connection can be private or shared, and after you authorize Zenphi to be able to grant permission to access your Google form responses, all you have to do is click on this Google Drive icon. It will open up your Google Drive and you can select any of your forms. You'll be able to see the form controls down at the bottom with their name and type. This is the form that I'll be using for the example. We're going to be using the full name of the departing user, their email, a new recovery email, and a new recovery phone. So this form would be filled out every time someone is about to depart, and then Zenphi would do the rest. The first action we have here is called lookup user information. This is going to allow us to get the information for the user. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the email of the departing user by using this icon here. This chain icon is called the token picker. It allows us to insert data from previous steps, in this case from the trigger or the Google form response. So if we click here, we'll be able to open up this menu and we're going to be able to get the email of the departing user, and we would put it here and make sure to return everything in admin view. Now the next action we're going to be using is this one called list users shared files. To be able to use this, you do need a Google Workspace administration connection. So in this one, it's going to be a bit different. You're going to create a new connection and it's going to ask you for the JSON file. This JSON file is going to be the credential file for a service account. To be able to do that, you just need to follow the steps to be able to grant Zenphi permission. And then after that, we're going to indicate the user's email. In this case, using the token picker, we're going to look at the previous action, and here we're going to have all their information. So we're going to get their primary email. Here you can select which files you want to search through, if the one shared with link, email address, or domain as well. And then you want to select where you want to search, if just their drive or all drives, shared drives. You're going to select an internal domain. This is going to indicate what the domain is going to be in case you selected the domain shared. And you do have the option to personalize this action further if you just want the files, folders, files, and folders. You can exclude trashed items. And you can even select how you want to order them, how many items you want to process at a time. After we have this collection of shared files, we're going to loop through each one of them using a for each action. So what we're going to do is, using the for each loop, we're going to give it the collection of files that we just created. So it would be this one. It's a collection of files and folders. And then we're going to use this action called list permissions. Again, we need the Google Workspace administration connection. Once we have that, we just need to give the email, make sure to execute as a domain admin, and then we're going to select which file. So here what you would do is get the ID of the file. If you can't see the ID in suggestions, what you would do is go to references. In the for each loop, you're going to open up the item and then get the ID of the file. Once we have the permissions for each file, we're going to delete sharing. So using this action called delete sharing. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to select which file we no longer want to share. So using the token picker, you would go again to your for each loop, get the ID of the file, and then it's going to ask you for the permission IDs. This would come from the previous action, so it would be this one, the ID of this permission. So it gets the permission ID for each one of the files in each loop, and then you want to make sure you run as a domain admin. Okay, so now we have revoked their access to certain files. However, we do want to add more security measures. So to do that, first we're going to sign out the user. This is using the sign out user action. So what we're going to do is just select the email that we want to sign out. Again, from the very first action we added, the user primary email. And now we're going to want to change their password. So what we're going to do is use this action, which is called generate password. You can let it know the minimum length, the maximum length, if you want to include uppercase numbers, special characters to make it more secure. And then using the action update user, we're going to change their password. So all you have to do is indicate the username. And then here you're going to be able to select the password. So we're going to click on password, and then we're going to select which password we want to use. In this case, it would be the one from generate password. And then next, what we're going to do is update their recovery email, since we don't want them to be able to request a new password since they can no longer log in. So what we're going to do is, again, using the same action, the update user, but this time we're going to update the recovery information, so the recovery email and the recovery phone. As you might remember, we did ask for this information inside of the form, so what we're going to do is open up the trigger, and then we're going to get the new recovery email. And then we're going to do the same thing with the same action. Update user, again indicate their email, select the recovery phone, and again from the trigger we're going to select the recovery phone. And now since we have revoked access to certain shared files, we've also logged the user out, changed their recovery information, changed their password and everything, we can go ahead and suspend the user now. So now what we're going to do is use the suspend user action. All we have to do is indicate the email, and then you can select if they're suspended, yes, no, and then you can also archive the user if you wish to do so. And as you can see, it really just takes a few easy steps to be able to enhance data security for your company, making sure that all files and folders being shared are only within employees and not with departing employees. It really just takes filling out a Google form to be able to do the whole process. And that'll be everything. You're going to be able to find a blog post on this use case in the description. So if you're interested in checking that out, make sure to look there. And you can also find different use cases on our YouTube channel for different actions, different triggers, so you can learn how to automate different processes as well. Thank you so much for watching.